Alrighty, guys. Pretty good day today. Started out, we dropped to $1.02 at open, and then after that, if you guys were watching, the bid and the ask sizes just got pretty insane, and kind of got this vibe where felt like there might be some rich people out there who just kept dropping on the bid every time they try to drop the price, kind of like a Gandalf saying "You shall not pass" and just pushing that price up little by little. Hopefully those same people show up tomorrow as well. And that was fun. um, yeah, so today was good. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is dilution. There's a lot of concern out there about people with dilution and what's going to happen with the vote if we don't squeeze before then. I still got my fingers crossed that we are squeezing before then. But let's talk about it for a second. So we know that retail does not vote for dilution. Like, that's a hard fact. They wouldn't give AMC was 100% retail, and they wouldn't give AMC 500 million shares before the squeeze. And then they didn't give AMC 25 million shares after the squeeze to 72. That's how much retail hates dilution. They wouldn't give them 25 million shares. 5% of the outstanding shares, they said no. So, if you think MULN's any different, if you think retail feels any different about dilution after seeing the 6 announcements of dilution in the last 4 months, you're wrong. Investors hate dilution, and especially when it's been like this. They've been more open about it and different things. Who knows what it'd be like, but when they pull this kind of garbage, like, retail hates it. But retail doesn't sell. Retail holds their bag, and they pray and they hope because they hate selling for a loss also. Retail also very rarely day trades people. So all those people on Twitter saying, "Hey, you sell here and you buy here," even Reddit as well. Retail doesn't mess with that stuff. If you guys pay attention and see what happened with AMC and GME and follow where the real retail was, they're very open about their thing. They buy, they hold, and they buy the dip, and they just keep on buying until they win. It's the way that retail goes. So, what I want to focus on with the dilution vote is we got this filing that says all these different things. Says that David Mickery supposedly owned 150 million shares. It did say that every share is 1 share to 1 vote. And in June 2nd, we got an announcement that there's 477 million shares outstanding. Well, at the same time we got that announcement, we also got an Ortex update showing the 477 million outstanding shares, but it said that the free float was 407 million shares. This was at June 2nd, people. Actually, it was on June 9th when the filing was released. But my point is if on June 9th, when the filing was released, they updated it to show 477 million outstanding shares, and that's what it was on June 2nd, that's the same number of outstanding shares. So when there's no reason to assume that they updated the free float separately from those numbers in 7 days. And so what I'm getting at is if there was 477 million outstanding shares on June 2nd, and we got that Ortex update, then it was likely that the free float was 407 million shares on June 2nd as well. And that David Mickery taking those 150 million shares had already diluted them to retail. Now let's take a couple mathematical examples and think about this for a second. So, if they owned 150 million shares or whatever, so we got the 407 million minus the 150 million That leaves 257 million shares for retail, which is nearly, what is that, 70%? So if we do 407 minus 257 divided by, but no, it'd be 257 minus 407 divided by 407. So that would leave us with the 65% voting power in that scenario. Now, I believe that we're actually 407 million minus the 477 million divided by the 477 million. So I believe we're 85% of the vote. We could be 65% of the vote. Even before, like, all the way on May 13th, there was 332 million shares outstanding. So if we take the 332, subtract the 100, I think it's 160 million that they supposedly had in the filing. That still leaves 172 million shares for retail to vote with. Retail votes 99% no, we're still good. Like, any way I chalk up this math, we win the dilution vote. Yeah, there's no way that we're not winning this vote. I don't know. I don't even, like, I've seen on Twitter where people talk about a rigged vote, and how regardless what we vote, they're gonna say that we voted yes either way. I don't really believe that. I've never seen anything to suggest that's what they're willing to do. It seems like they are willing to break a lot of unwritten rules, but it doesn't seem like they are willing to completely just break the law and, like, lie about your votes. I haven't seen that in anywhere in this world. It seems like they're just willing to, anything that's a guideline, anything that's questionable, they'll break those all day. Pump and dumps for every other stock. CEO selling shares. Diluting at the worst possible time to save shorts. Anything that would be considered questionable, they always do those things. But I've yet to actually see anyone in, like, government or big business actually break the law to win. So I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, if it came out and the vote did say yes on dilution, I wouldn't believe it for a second. And if somehow that did happen, the only recourse would be a lawsuit, and you'd have to get the evidence. But I don't think we got to worry about that, people. I'm still expecting squeeze before dilution vote. And I think it's very likely that David McRae will pull the dilution vote off the table like they did with AMC. We shall see what happens. I'm excited about it, though. I hope you guys are excited about it, and I hope that the whales show up tomorrow again. Let's go, whales. We counting on you.